Happy weekend, everybody. Tim Knight here. Little end of week market review. Well, the bulls are feeling pretty happy with life right now, and no surprise why. Here's the past 30 days of a variety of indexes, and you can just see that ever since mid-December, the market's really had only one direction. So here's the NASDAQ Composite. Here is the NASDAQ 100. Here's the Russell 2000, up about 15% over the past 30 trading days. The Indu is, in spite of the fact it was actually down a bit Friday, basically it's risen 1,000 points from December 19 just to Jan 26. So in fewer than 30 trading days, 1,000 points on the Dow. So, and in the background, of course, the VIX has been heading back to zero. I mean, complacency is in, volatility is out. So investors are getting pretty sanguine these days, and you've seen the sentiment numbers. There's no bears left, and understandably so. This bear is still left because he's so damn cautious. I have, for the entirety of 2012, been in a ridiculously large amount of cash, just out of a combination of terror and caution. I usually been around 70% at the moment, a full 75% in cash right now, carefully laying out short positions, but completely hesitant to get even anything close to aggressive at this point, and for the reasons you've just seen. I will say that just about the only area that I'm thinking of getting aggressive in the near future, and I know people are gaga about the euro and gold right now, but are those two areas, euro and gold. The euro, to me, is a very, very enticing prospect right now. If you think of my positions as small, medium, and large, I've got 30 short positions out right now. 29 of them are small, some really, teeny, I would say. But the 30th one is small to medium, and that's FXE. Every weekend there's stuff going on with the euro, but I believe this Sunday, the 29th, I guess it would be, there's supposed to be some kind of big news coming out. I'm actually kind of hoping that big news gooses it a little bit higher. We'll see. But this retracement, this very hearty lift from Jan 15 to present, has allowed the euro to reach, kind of similar to what happened back here, has allowed the euro to reach a level that I consider a much safer short. So let's do the grid here just to kind of remind ourselves what I'm talking about. If we take this area and say this area, you can see, let's trim off that drop right there. You can see pretty plainly what I'm talking about in terms of, and this is rather distorted, so it's a little tougher to make out, but the point is that we have this large topping pattern in each case, and we get a big drop and then a retracement to that failure point. And in this case, it's actually approaching two technically interesting items. One is this horizontal line I've drawn here, somewhat arbitrarily. There's no hard and fast price for that line to be. And this one's not the least bit arbitrary. This is a nice trend line I've drawn. But clearly there's some convergence going on at around the 1.325 area. I didn't know that we would get this high, and in a way I'm kind of glad we did get this high, because really nothing has been better for euro bears than a big glossy announcement. Those have been wonderful. So I'm hoping Sunday there's some kind of good news for the world of the euro, but not too good, because as we've seen in the past, you can get this kind of event, short-lived as it is. But remember, back on October 26th, the everything is great and saved thing from Merkel, and you can see how much good that did. But that is of great interest to me. Conversely, if you look at precious metals related items, here's dollar HUI. This has exploded over Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of last week, approaching this gap here. And naturally, the GDX has also exploded. And I see some slopers are very giddy about their minor longs, and rightfully so. They've made a ton of money. They seem to have their eyes on much, much larger gains. We'll see. I don't have a position in GDX at the moment. I'm going to wait for Monday. If we go rocketing higher, I shall happily not touch it. If we ease down or even ease up a little bit, I will be more interested. I'd like Sunday to get out of the way, get that headline risk done with. And as I devoted a post to on Friday, GLD is a special interest to me because we have a whole triumvirate of trend lines that are converging at around 170 or so next week. So I think that could be quite interesting resistance. I also, although I don't trade this monster, BGU generally speaking, it's quite interesting to me that we've got really multiple mirror images going on here. So huge bullish basing pattern, huge bearish topping pattern, and again, huge bullish basing pattern. So we see the market seems to keep changing coats. So we have, this, and then this, and finally this. And in each instance, the bulls are really excited here, the bears are really excited here, and the bulls are again excited here. And bullish euphoria is running rampant in all quarters right now. Even the apocalyptic zero hedge has sort of resorted to just focusing on, wow, gold sure has gone up a lot, hasn't it? As opposed to the equity doom and gloom shtick. I would close by saying that if there is any analog that the bears can look toward, based on a lot of the stuff I've been looking at, my mindset has us kind of in the late spring, early summer of 2008, analogously speaking, which with IWM kind of makes sense because, as you can see, as in the past, the IWM had a big topping pattern, started to break down, but then gained strength and shoved aside what one would think was a pretty good resistance point. It took a while of consolidation for things to weaken, but eventually weaken they did. And this is kind of what's going on here because this line here, did and does represent a support resistance barrier, currently support now. But the fact that we have smartly pushed above it doesn't mean that, it just keeps pushing higher into the quadruple digits. We may be re-experiencing this kind of thing. But let's see what happens on Sunday. I think that'll help inform whether we continue with this unrelenting bull run or if the euro gives us another opportunity. So have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.